The police station was quiet that afternoon, the kind of silence that comes after endless paperwork and routine calls. But then, the heavy wooden door creaked open, and a tiny figure stumbled inside. She was no more than 7 years old, her hair tangled, her face streaked with tears. Clutching a small stuffed rabbit to her chest, she sobbed out words that sent chills down every officer's spine. Please, please follow me home. It's my mommy. She won't wake up. The room froze. In that moment, no one knew what they were walking into. None of them could imagine that what they'd find inside that girl's small, broken-down house would leave even the toughest officers in tears. If the story touched your heart, show your love, like, share, and comment your thoughts. Officer Daniel Hayes had been on the force for over 20 years. He had seen hardened criminals, terrible accidents, and heartbreaking family tragedies. But there was something about the child standing before him that pierced straight through his armor. Her small shoulders shook as she clutched that stuffed rabbit like it was her lifeline. Daniel bent down to her level. "Sweetheart, what's your name?" She sniffled. "Lily. My name is Lily." Her voice was so soft that Daniel had to lean in to hear. The other officers glanced at one another, uneasy. Lily looked out of place in the sterile, gray police station, like a fragile flower growing out of concrete. "Lily," Daniel said gently, "can you tell me what's wrong with your mommy?" "She's on the floor," Lily whispered. Her lips trembled. "She's not moving, and she's so cold. Please, can you come help her? Please." Daniel's stomach sank. He signaled to his partner, Officer Carla Green, and within seconds, they were on their way. Lily held Daniel's hand tightly as they walked out to the patrol car, her tiny palm clammy with fear. The drive felt longer than it was. Lily sat in the back seat, clutching her rabbit, whispering something under her breath. Carla glanced back. "What's that you're saying, honey?" Lily blinked. "I was telling Mr. Whiskers to be brave. Mommy always says if we're scared, we have to be brave for each other." Daniel's throat tightened. Children shouldn't have to carry so much weight. When they arrived, Lily led them to a rundown house at the end of a quiet street. The paint peeled off the walls, the yard was overgrown, and one shutter banged loosely in the wind. She fumbled with the rusty lock, finally pushing the door open. The smell hit them first, stale air, dampness, and something metallic. Daniel and Carla exchanged a look. "Mommy!" Lily's small voice echoed through the house. She dropped her rabbit on the couch and ran toward a doorway. The officers followed quickly. In the kitchen, sprawled on the cracked linoleum floor, lay a woman in her early 30s. Her skin was pale, her lips faintly blue. An empty bottle of medication lay nearby. Carla immediately dropped down, checking for a pulse. "She's alive," she said quickly. "Weak but alive. We need paramedics now." Daniel radioed for help, his voice firm but his hands trembling. Lily knelt beside her mother, stroking her hair. "Mommy, wake up, please. I brought helpers." The sound of sirens soon filled the air. EMTs rushed in, lifting Lily's mother onto a stretcher. Lily tried to follow, but Daniel gently held her back. "They're going to help your mommy. She's going to the hospital." "But I can't leave her," Lily cried. Her voice cracked with raw desperation. Daniel crouched down, his heart aching. "You're not leaving her. You'll be with her very soon. I promise. Let's follow them. Okay?" At the hospital, doctors worked frantically. The diagnosis came back. An overdose of prescription pills, accidental but nearly fatal. The mother, whose name was Amanda, had been struggling with severe depression after losing her job months earlier. Daniel and Carla sat with Lily in the waiting area. The girl hugged her rabbit and looked up at them with wide eyes. "She didn't mean to leave me," she whispered, as if needing them to believe it. She just cries a lot when she thinks I'm asleep." Carla squeezed her tiny hand. "It's not your fault, Lily. None of this is your fault. Hours passed before a doctor finally came out. Amanda was stable but weak. She would need treatment, both medical and emotional. Daniel exhaled, a wave of relief washing over him. When Lily was allowed to see her mother, she ran into the room, climbing onto the bed carefully. Amanda, her voice hoarse, whispered, "I'm so sorry, baby. Mommy's here." Tears filled Lily's eyes. "I thought I lost you." Daniel and Carla stood silently at the door, moved in a way that words couldn't describe. The bond between the little girl and her mother was unbreakable, despite everything. But this wasn't the end. Amanda had a long road ahead, therapy, recovery, rebuilding a life from broken pieces. And through it all, Lily, just a child, had carried a bravery most adults couldn't summon. That night, Daniel couldn't sleep. He kept seeing Lily's face, her tears, the way she had begged for help not for herself, but for her mother. It reminded him of his own daughter, grown and away at college now. He knew one thing. He couldn't walk away from Lily and Amanda. Weeks later, Daniel visited Amanda at the rehabilitation center. She was stronger now, her eyes brighter, though shadows of struggle still lingered. Lily greeted him with a smile, holding a drawing she had made. "It's us," she said proudly, showing the picture. Stick figures stood together. Lily, Amanda, and two taller figures labeled Mr. Daniel and Miss Carla. Above them, in uneven handwriting, were the words, "My helpers." Daniel's chest tightened. "That's beautiful, Lily." Amanda's voice shook as she said, "I don't know how to thank you. If she hadn't run to you that day..." She trailed off, unable to finish. "You don't need to thank me," Daniel replied. "You raised a little girl brave enough to save her mom's life. That's extraordinary." Carla, standing beside him, added softly, "And you're not alone anymore. You have people who care." Amanda nodded, tears sliding down her cheeks. For the first time in a long time, hope flickered in her eyes. As Daniel walked back to his car, Lily ran after him. She wrapped her small arms around his waist. "You're my hero," she whispered. Daniel knelt, hugging her back. "No, Lily, you're mine." And in that moment, he knew he'd carry her story forever. Not as just another case, but as a reminder of the courage that can live inside the smallest of hearts, and the power of compassion to turn despair into hope. Sometimes, the bravest heroes don't wear uniforms or capes. They come in the form of a little girl clutching a stuffed rabbit, refusing to give up on the person she loves most.